guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today two movies that I've seen recently or a couple weeks ago that I seen were Carrie that I saw in theaters and The Curse of Chucky that I bought on DVD. So these two movies, they were both horror and scary and much, well, Carrie was really more suspense, and The Curse of Chucky was now much more horror and darker than the last one of Seed of Chucky, which was a horror comedy and was a complete bomb. But the first movie that I want to talk about that I saw in theaters today is Carrie. Now this is actually the remake to the original Carrie, and it was based off the book novel by Stephen King. And this movie, it wasn't really as gory. It wasn't really as gory than I expected it to be. But it was a good, scary movie, and it was actually good, worth watching. I would definitely watch it again in theaters or before it comes to Blu-ray or on DVD. The characters, which is Carrie, and it was played by Chloe Montez, which we all know her as Hit Girl from Kick-Ass 1 and 2. She played a good role to play as Carrie, and especially with her personality and her physical, seeing her as shy as Carrie was in the original one, she did not too bad, and she was really good to play as Carrie, and definitely where she has using all her sidekick abilities make her all really much more scary, and seeing all the suspenseful and all the CGI effects, they were not too bad at all. And Julianne Moore, she's another good actress, and playing as the mother, she's really crazy and really darker, and especially when she hits her head on the wall many times, and it's really good. And I didn't really see the original. I didn't see the whole thing of it. I saw bits and pieces of it, the beginning and the prom scene and the ending as well. So there will be some familiar scenes, of course, but I'm not going to spoil anything, so there will be no spoiler alerts. If those of you saw it, so that's great. If those of you didn't, you should definitely see it in theaters. They were kind of modern. It was a modern, calming down horror movie. So I guess now they didn't want to have too much of gory. But eventually the movie was good. I mean, it was just not too gory as I was expecting, and they were kind of disappointed. Even I was a little disappointed. But the only best scene that I really liked with this movie is the prom scene ever. But this prom scene was crazy with all the blood coming out, including the pig's blood, and the place was starting to go whole on fire, and Carrie was like floating and using her telekinesis power against all the students that really picked on her a lot at the times. But this was great, including the CGI effects. They were really good and really suspenseful. It was really a good movie, and it's definitely worth watching it in theaters. And my next one of Curse of Chucky, it was really disappointing that they didn't put it in theaters, and instead they put it straight to Blu-ray and DVD. I don't know why they did that. I thought it was going to be in theaters. It looked like a theatrical movie just to see it in theaters and wait for it to go on Blu-ray and DVD. But it was really surprising that Brad Dourif reprised the role to do the voice of Chucky. That was really surprising, and really happy to see him doing the voice of Chucky, because nobody could do Chucky except Brad Dourif. But this was actually a sequel instead of a remake. This was a sequel to after the Seed of Chucky. But this sequel is much more darker, and it was much more scary and horrifying than the other Child's Play movies. I was really shocked and surprised just to see Chucky, like in Mystery, being a mysterious doll inside. The story was really surprising, and it did have the origin of talking about Chucky's life, of how he got into the doll and how he learned how to use all these voodoo magics. It explains a lot, so that really talked about a lot. And I'm really also surprised that Jennifer Tilly returned the Chucky franchise movies. And there's also a surprising person after the credits, so I'm not going to say who it is. So if those of you had the movie, or if you rented it on Netflix, like wait after the credit ends, and you'll see this one scene where Chucky goes and meets someone, and it's a familiar face. But I think I'm going to get this movie on Blu-ray just to get the whole collection of my Chucky movies. So I'm going to get all of them on Blu-ray. So just to rate both of these movies, for Carrie, I would have to give it a 7.8 out of 10. And as for the Curse of Chucky, I would give it a 8 out of 10. They were both scary. They were really good just to at least enjoy. But all I wish for Carrie, I wish they were done better. But hopefully, if it comes on DVD or on Blu-ray, I hope they make an unrated version for it. And as for the Curse of Chucky, I'm really glad they've had the storyline, make it step by step, and took out the whole comedy spoof shit. So that was good too. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off and saying is, peace!